Why give a foul away? Why give a foul away? Fucking stupid goal. Fucking useless. No, 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 no. You're wrong. Oh no. He's putting it in. Fucking hell. Dave. Fuck off. Right. Sorry. Then turn it off whenever you want. Oh my God. Why? Why can't it just be why can't it just be simple? Why can't it just be, easy? Why can't we just have that with this bloody club, everyone? 2 minutes. I'm just going to get into it. Let me just refresh the screen. God. Stay with Oh, well, everybody, Leeds United run out 4-3 winners against Middlesbrough in a game where I started off palatable. I started off okay as a fan. I started off measured. I was sat there with my partner, and my partner's listening to me and been like, "Are you okay? This isn't normal. Normally, you're going absolutely bonkers at everything." And I've just heard, unfortunately, that my mic was on. I went live through my iPad. I not through it. I went live through my iPad, and I can only apologise. I don't know what was said on there, but I was just going mental at the end of the game. Had no idea this was picking up the noise. I thought it was only in here that it picked up the noise. So fantastic. Well done, Connor. Technical genius again. But Leeds United have got the win. It's 3-4 to the Whites. Borough 3, Leeds United 4. And what I will say is Borough's Cup final, they lost that one. I mean, I've never seen a team go almost gung-ho as much as that Borough side. Fair play to them. I thought they kept the ball well. They were fouling left, right, and centre. Couldn't deal with I thought that the pace and the dynamism of Somerville and Rutter in a lot of phases, and Nonto, to be fair, who was excellent on the night. Leeds were better than we have been. It has to be said, much better than we have been. Keeping hold of the ball better, making the right decisions, just better overall. And listen, I can't believe they've got over the line in that game. When Dan James had missed that chance at the end, when you all knew he was going to miss, we all knew he was waiting for the defender to come round and just clatter him because he didn't feel confident shooting on goal, and he's rolling around on the floor. The first half, when Bamford has to score to make it 4-2, you know, when Somerville's throw on goal and he puts it just wide with that lovely little interchange with him and Ampadu, you're thinking, no, Leeds, no. And Latte Lath, who sounds like, or Latte Lath, something, Cafe Latte, who they have up front, is literally the next Didier Drogba, championship standard, with a wonderful header and a wonderful finish as well. Someone who, you know, I'd keep tabs on, by the way. What a link-up player and what a bullish striker he is. Obviously, I believe he's scored 4 goals against us now in 2 games. Could be wrong there, though, with the first game. But Leeds have got over the line with a horrific start to the game, which has been really symptomatic of Leeds over the over the period of however many weeks it has been now post international break. It's just been woeful. Leeds started the game actually pretty well. I thought we were the better team, to be quite honest with you. But then, the obvious thing happened, didn't it? And Borough got in. Isaiah Jones scored. More brain defending from Firpo, who I have boosted on this channel several times. It has to be said. I think he's been brilliant. He's been one of the better players, in my opinion. Not brilliant, but he's been one of the better players post international break trauma. He's been better than a lot of the rest. So yeah, I was sort of a little bit unhappy with his performance tonight in phases. I thought that first goal was very avoidable. Hinchcliffe on commentary again is just something that I have to put on mute now. I cannot stand the bias towards any club that plays Leeds United. I have to put him on mute. I can't stand him. Has to be said. But obviously Leeds got the 2 goals back in quick succession, which was the perfect response. Leeds scoring the most goals in the first 15 minutes out of any championship side, which is great. And we've recovered a significant amount of points from losing positions, which in effect has happened again tonight. And then Borough got back into it, didn't they? More slack defending from Leeds United, which it doesn't seem to be now. We've got to this phase where Leeds don't appear to be defending well. It appears to be there is a lot of space for wingers up against Leeds. The fullbacks seem to be putting in, and this has been since the international break, even though I've mentioned Firpo defensively, he's not been great. Going forward, he's always decent at this level, and that's where he's been one of our better players post-international. But defensively, we know how he can be. His awareness during the matchup against Isaiah Jones, I thought was poor. And in that first half, I think it was Silvano, wasn't it? The winger on the other side, on the left-hand side, was cutting inconsistently. The build-up from Byram was woeful, and it was affecting Somerville. Then Nonto started out there, didn't he? But he then interchanged with Somerville on the other side, but it was affecting our build-up. Rutter was continuously free spot. As I've just mentioned, he wasn't able to find Byram, and Byram was affecting our build-up. You saw in the second half, everybody, that build-up with Archie, who was pushing really, really high, which was good to see, was almost affecting us in a negative way because they were getting in and behind our midfield. Grev was kind of on a bit of a solo mission to stop Lewis O'Brien, to stop Howson getting forward as well, but also to stop a Finn Azaz in there. So it was almost like 3-on-1 at points because Archie was so high in and around Rutter as well, almost in 2-10s going forward. So Leeds were going for it. There's a lot of people saying we were just deep a lot of the time, but that's not true. We'd spring on that attack, and Archie would almost be in a striker role a lot of the time. So, yeah, we're going to get into your comments, everybody. Keep streaming them in. Make sure you're liking the video as well. Leeds have got the win. We're back on the horse, hopefully. And this is what I was saying pre-match, everybody. Listen, we've got the capability and the quality, but you and I were nervous before that game because of how bad and how dreadful we've been performance-wise, but result-wise, we've been awful. So can we get back to it? there's two prongs to this. Of course, we can get back to it with the quality we have, which we've displayed tonight. I wasn't changing my tune of what I've been saying in the past 3-4 weeks when we've been dreadful. I still thought if we lost this game, that'd have been it. That'd have been it. I genuinely believe that. But now we've given ourselves that platform. Defensively, we look all at sea. I will say that at the minute. I feel getting in and behind Leeds seems to be a little bit easier in between the centre-back and the left-back and the centre-back and the right-back, of which it hasn't been easy because we've been quite compact, I've felt, throughout the whole season. Now it feels like our full-backs have been spread out wide, and those balls in between the left-back, the centre-back, the right-back and the centre-back are much easier, and we're on tonight. We're on all the time for Borough. They didn't exploit us enough. But the beauty of what you saw tonight was Leeds United trying to sit back, in effect, and really hurting them. I mean, that first 15 minutes of the second half, Borough had, I think, literally 95% of the ball. Had 95% of the ball, and Leeds United just had to sit and sit and sit, and they didn't do anything really, Borough. They had one shot in that 15-minute spell. Leeds United then sprung with a devastating counter-attack, and Chris Somerville doing exactly what we've seen him do multiple times this season, where he bent it in. And in a game tonight where you saw Chris Somerville, in effect, once again, a lot of us would probably look at that game and say, Nonso is the best player on the pitch. Ridiculous, I thought, tonight. Superb. And this is what I said in the preview. He is going to be the main man, in my opinion, in this sort of two to three game fixture spell. I think, him being out for that prolonged period of time, he's not really been able to fulfill that potential, really, for me, even this season, because I think he can get to a level or two up as well. But listen, he tonight was exceptional. And you looked at some of them and thought, well, I don't really know what he did. Was he really that good? Then you look at the tally, 2 goals and an assist, and just once again, dragging Leeds through. But Nonso, I thought tonight was exceptional. I thought he was absolutely brilliant defensively, bringing Leeds up the pitch, being aggressive, winning fouls in dangerous areas, but even in our area when he needed to. Top performance from Willie Nonso tonight. I think the midfield was a lot better in the second half. I felt Byram, you guys know I'm not a massive fan of Byram. I don't think he's got much to his game, but I felt the centre-backs at least were finding Rutter a lot more in that little hole, and you were seeing him turn a lot more effectively. We have to speak about him on that second goal. Atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. I don't call Rutter out really on this channel. I think he gives us a lot more than what he takes away from us. And I think those risky moments where he'll Cruyff turn and he'll get us out of a bit of bother and he'll create something. He'll be able to transition, get through those defensive players getting stuck tight to him. He'll Cruyff turn and get out of it, and Leeds will have 4 going at a back 2. And that's where he's been unbelievable this season. I agree with the masses, though, that he's been off colour. I think in that second half, you saw the real Jorginho Rutter. The first half, he was absolutely abysmal. Horrendous. That second goal, I was spitting feathers, and he'd had 2 warnings before. Just keep the ball simple. Just keep the ball simple, or just hold the ball up. Hold the ball up, go down, get a free kick. He was doing way too much in difficult positions in our own half, and he was getting robbed continuously. It was his fault for that goal. And then I have to be brutally honest with you guys. Brutally honest with you. I am never, ever, ever going to rate. I'm never going to. I've said it on Twitter, and I've said it, with the person I was with tonight as well. I'm never going to really rely on Ilan Meslier a lot. I've come on, I've spoken about him enough, and you saw his poppadom hands for that second goal, and you thought, well, that's just what you expect from Meslier, really. He didn't fill me with a lot of confidence tonight, spilling a lot of balls over the top where I thought at points he could have caught them, but that's by the by. It doesn't matter. But the 3 goals Borough scored were a little bit of a concern for me. I think their striker, as I've mentioned, is a top striker at this level. I think he's pretty much got everything to his game. Reminds me a lot of Emmanuel Dennis at this level. But by the by, it doesn't matter. Nonso was superb. I thought Archie came into his own in that second half. He was involved in one of the goals. Somerville was excellent. I thought, without being excellent, because we know what level he can get to. And one man we have to speak about. Is Pat Bamford. It's Pat Bamford. Really good. Really good. This channel, I will always praise players. If I don't think they're good enough, I don't think he's good enough. But if he can put performances in like that, and I know he'd have been motivated tonight, we all know why. If he can put performances in like that till the end of the seaon, if he can hold the ball up well, if he can lay the ball off well. There was one sloppy pass tonight where I nearly lost my marbles in the room, where he laid it, simple 5-yard pass, past Rutter, straight into Johnny Howson's path. But overall, he was getting fouled in the right areas. He was making the correct decisions when it came to channel running. He was barely caught offside tonight. Scored a goal, should have had another one, but it's Pat Bamford's conversion rate. We know it can be about 40, 50% accurate. So it is what it is. We always give him that sort of miss. But overall, he was fantastic tonight. Led the line so well. And I know we made changes. I understand we made changes, which you know, there's context that needs to be applied. Peru came on, but yeah, I have to say, you saw the difference when Peru came on. But this is the life of Pat Bamford. You can't ever come on here and say, well, Connor, I told you so. You can't, because we know next week it could be back to normal Pat. But what I've always said on this channel is he's streaky. He's a streaky striker. And now if he can have a 3-game streak where he's good enough, brilliant, fantastic. We need that right now. We need proper centre-forward performances, proper hold-up play, proper link-up play, proper channel running, and ultimately goals. Yeah, and you could tell he was proper up for it tonight, celebrating massively even for the Somerville goals. And listen, he was up against his previous club. He was getting booed every touch. He seemed to thrive in that, which was great. It was really nice for the penalty as well, where he stepped up. And I know you're all thinking the same. Oh, shit. He's stepping up to take it. It's going over the bar. But he very, very maturely just gave the ball to Somerville. And that's what he should have done in many situations. Just give the ball away. And I think that helped him overall, to be honest with you. Got his goal. Really good bit of anticipation. Went in off his hip. But I can't be a complete hypocrite here. I've always said about Pat Bamford, if the ball goes in off his arse, if it goes in off his knee, if it goes in off his shin bone, I don't give a shit right now. Who cares? As long as he scores goals for Leeds United. And effectively, it'd be nice if he puts in a performance for his confidence, his mentality, and generally the team as well. But overall, he was good tonight. He was good. And please perform like that against QPR. Hold the ball up well. Don't let it bounce off you and then sort of sluggishly walk back. You know, we need proper performance. I thought when Perot came on, I'll be honest with you, he couldn't trap a bag of sand, a bag of cement. He was poor, really, really poor in you know, it was only a 10-15 minute spell, but we need him to hold the ball. We need him to do more, and he wasn't doing it at all. Wasn't letting the ball stick. But I thought Bamford was decent, was really decent tonight. So we have to give him his flowers, because you can criticize, but you've also got to praise. That's what we are not. We don't have agendas on this channel. And I thought he played well tonight. And let's hope that is going to be the way he plays for the remainder of the season. Ian J with a super chat. Shout out to you. Ian says, Meslier too far off his line. What a win. Yeah, to be honest, Ian, I don't rate the guy between the sticks whatsoever. I think every part of his game is weak. Handling, distribution, you know, claiming, dominating his box. I think it's all off. But I will defend him for that third goal. That was just a moment of genius from their striker. I thought that was so unexpected, and I can't imagine what that XG was, but it also indicates that that ball was on every time, which is slightly worrying. I thought Latte Lap was really, really running that line well. He was barely offside, as I've just mentioned, with a couple of Leeds players, and he was running that line off Rodon, off Ampadu. He was physical with them tonight, and he was really giving them a run around for phases. He was dropping deep as well, and he was a problem because he could strike it from the edge of the box, as we saw for the second. He was causing Leeds a lot of problems, and he's really complete. Really, really complete. Looks like he could have a bit of an option out wide as well with that little bit of pace he's got. But yeah, I'm not blaming Meslier for that. I thought it was a looped header. It was a fantastic finish. So yeah, but yeah, if you want to be ultra critical, he's off his line. But I think what he was doing there is, I think he thought the ball was going over him, so he was just coming to claim the ball. But we can criticize Meslier for absolutely everything tonight in terms of his performance levels, which I thought were really poor. But generally, I think that third goal, it's harsh. Phil says, saw the good and ugly of Leeds tonight, but going forward, we're brilliant. Result, all that matters. Willie, Gray, Paddy, all very good. We can do this, Connor. Yeah, and that's it, mate. That is it. Just let me just hold on a sec, guys. Just gonna reload this 2 seconds. And we're back. Yeah, but I think you're right, and I think that's the big thing tonight. The big thing we've all got to bear in mind is that this is a confidence boost. We've got so many players in this side, as we all know, who are confidence players. Pat Bamford, there's an argument. Jorginho Rutter, Archie Gray is only a young lad. There's a lot of players. Byram, confidence player. We all know that we have got a lot of confidence players within this side, within this squad. So getting a win like that away from home, scoring 4 goals, the defence, I'd have really loved us not to have conceded that third, to be honest with you, but we did. By the by, doesn't matter, is what it is. But I think overall, getting those goals and getting the win, ultimately, you look at a lot of fans will tell you right now, there's a lot of Leeds fans that will say that's our toughest game. That is our toughest game. And I don't know if I believe that, but they need to follow it up. They have to follow this up now with another win. We still have that obviously vulnerability of Ipswich having 2 games, after us. But the beautiful thing right now for Leeds United, is the fact that we have, is the fact that we have the psychological advantage on Ipswich right now, because we've got those 3 points. Now Ipswich have to make up 3 points after we play our next game. So we play our next game, and if we can get 3 points, a point wouldn't be disastrous, but you want 3 points. I think we need 9 points now. But if Leeds get 3 points, that pressure on Ipswich is massive. And I wouldn't want to go, as we've seen with Coventry's performance levels, I wouldn't want to go with Hull when we've seen their performance levels, with them just dictating possession, keeping the ball. I wouldn't want to be going there. And I've said that all along, by the way. But I've also said our difficulty is massive in terms of fixtures. Tonight was massive. And another big bonus is the fact that I know the goals that we've conceded tonight. I know the goals that we've scored tonight, but we've got a better goal difference than Ipswich. So the psychological imprint on them will be difficult. But my whole thing beforehand was, can Leeds do it? Do Leeds have the mental fortitude to go out there and rectify it and get back to all performances? Well, tonight, in large spades, especially going forward, which is the most important thing in football, scoring goals, that has been rectified. That is much better. That is what gets you automatically promoted. And that has seen us hit 90 points, everybody. 90 points in a championship season. And we're talking about potentially not getting up. It is mental. It's absolutely mental. Bearing in mind, we won the league at a canter with Sir Bielsa on 93 points. At a canter. So that is the level that we're at right now. We're on 90 points, and it could be nowhere near. But now we are going into a scenario where potentially, if we beat QPR and we have that superior goal difference, Ipswich could just lose to Hull. And that's it, effectively. Let's get into a couple of your comments, everybody. Really interested to hear what you say. Obviously, we'll get the members in first as well. You can become a member, everyone. £2 a month. That's all it is. And all the proceeds go to helping, to paying for this stuff. I really appreciate all your support. Michael's in the building. I put it down to wearing my rhubarb and custard kit. Not been able to wear it due to working for the last 3 games. Need to keep this bad boy on. Love it, mate. Definitely. Keep that on. Keep getting your comments in, everybody. I can read all. There's loads of you guys in here. There's nearly 3,000 of you in. Please make sure you are liking the stream and stuff like that. Nice to see how excited you are, Connor. British Gaming says hard game, enjoyable though. Tactic in the second half was all wrong for me, but I understand why he sent them out set up like that. Yeah, I mean that I guess that's it. He set them out up to counterattack in that second half. The problem was we still looked leaky, I thought. And a lot of you guys will say, we defended expertly. I don't think you'll ever defend expertly when you can see 3 goals, to be honest with you. But we've got an exceptional top 10 to 13th. I'll be generous. 3 in behind the striker. Somerville, Nonto, and Rutter are a cheat code at this level. Whatever you think of Rutter, whatever you think of the mistakes he makes, whatever, they're a cheat code. They're an absolute cheat code. It shouldn't be allowed. So it's all really preferential for Leeds United. It's beneficial, obviously. And you've got to a stage now where if you want to counter-attack against QPR, that could be a genuine tactic. It's far been a little bit pragmatic when it comes to what we do in-game. Let QPR have the ball. They're not used to having the ball. So if they have the ball, they're going to come on to us. It's a home game. And then we'll just kill them on the counter-attack because no way are they going to have, in effect, any better defenders than what Borough have or any better midfielders, aside from Elias Shearer. I'm not even sure he's able to play anymore than what Borough do. Borough are a much more effective, cohesive unit. So let them have the ball, see what they do, and then counter-attack again. It could be an effective strategy for us away from home, going in from now. But QPR, let's be honest, QPR's a must-win, in my opinion. No point. Honestly, guys, I am in assertive mode right now. I am in one lane McGilligan mode. Tonight, brilliant. One ticked off. One cup final ticked off. Dash with the next two. And do you know why? Because I feel as a collective, everyone got so high, including myself, after the Hull result, was devastated with the performance. Not devastated, but extreme, Connor. Was upset at the performance, but we got the result. But then what followed afterwards and has just been atrocious. But the beautiful thing about what we've seen right now is a much better level of performance. Maybe that's due to the 9-day rest. But what we've done now is really put it on McKenna and Ipswich. They'll be thinking, shit, we really could have done with Borough getting something there. Really could have done with them. Leeds are now back in the conversation in the top two. We've hit 90 points. So going to Ipswich, going to QPR on Friday night, early goal, fine. And I think that is going to be the best way forward. Early goal, calm everything down, strong at the back. And then we have the capability, as we've seen tonight, and as we've seen all season, to destroy teams with that three. We have the ability, and if Pat Bamford's performance levels are of a significant level, which are better than what has been, brilliant. That is what we need. A front four who are firing. And worst case scenario, if Ipswich go on to win every single game and we can't do anything about it because it's not in our hands, we need Ipswich to drop points. Regardless, we could get 9 points, they could get 9 points, they go up. So at least worst case scenario, we go into the playoffs with form and the attacking players are firing on all cylinders. That is the best case scenario for everything. Daniel Pollard says, could Leeds win the league? I hope so. Daniel, you just look like Max from Villa on Tour, my friend. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. A very successful and lovely man. Could Leeds win the league? I hope so. Well, we are a point behind. Thank you, Michael, as well. I just caught your comment as well there, mate. Really appreciate that. Could Leeds win the league? I personally don't think so. I don't think we will win the league. I think Leicester will just have too much. But we can. In effect, we can. Ipswich can still win the league. Southampton can probably still win the league mathematically. Yes, they can, but it's unlikely. But yeah, I mean, we've got a huge game tomorrow night in Leicester and Southampton. A massive game tomorrow night, which we've all got to keep tabs on. A game where you're looking at it and thinking, oh my God, this is massive as well. Could Southampton go there and win? There is a big likelihood that could happen. Big likelihood. Southampton are a quality team. Just because they've lost to Cardiff the other day doesn't take away from the fact that they have got a squad makeup, which is definitely lowerly Premier League. Definitely as good as Luton, Burnley and Sheffield United. Probably as good as Forest. What I'm trying to say is they have a good squad caliber. You look at them on paper and think, well, yeah, they could go to Leicester and win. Yeah, 100%. Whereas when you've been looking at other squads, West Brom, maybe Norwich, you've been thinking, well, if they have a good day, but Southampton dominate possession. They've got a very, very good team. So, yeah, they can go and beat Leicester. Leicester are not firing on all cylinders at the minute. West Brom should have absolutely battered them the other day. Battered them. Mikey Johnston turns up, which he didn't. Jed Wallace puts another effort away. They had chances, West Brom. So if you get Southampton going there, and Leicester are still crawling over the line, which we all are, by the way, at the minute, it's going to be a difficult game. Southampton at home for us is going to be an awful game. I wish we didn't have them, to be honest with you. I don't want them right now. They're not the Avengers. They're not world class. They're not better than everybody. But I don't want to come up against a team who, caliber wise, quality wise, are that good and have good individual moments and dominate possession. I don't really want that right now, to be honest with you. I'd quite like just having a middle of the road team. That'd be nice. But it is what it is. That's not how football works. I understand that. However, to look at the flip side, there is an argument right now that we have got rid of a team who despise us. It was their cup final tonight. The crowd were going mental. It was another big crowd at Borough with nothing to play for. It was as if right at the end, they're pushing the goalkeeper up. I know they want a result. I get it. They want to end the season fine, but they're out of the playoff race. I couldn't believe how much they were gunning for it at the end, and the crowd were on it. It was visceral. There was hatred. It was in the air. The Leeds players were getting hissed and booed at. It was quite staggering, to be honest with you, when they've got nothing to play for. But that's what I mean. It's their cup final. They hate us so much. Where we don't care about Borough. It is what it is. They're just a team up there. But to get that game out of the way, with so much hatred, with the run that they've been on as well under Carrick, which has been very good of late. Ipswich couldn't beat them, could they? I think Ipswich have dropped points to them. Leicester have dropped points to them this season. We've got 6 points out of 6 against them. 2 close games in score lines, but we've still done it. So there is an argument that was our toughest game. So if that is our toughest game, what we can't do right now is go to QPR and do the old Leeds United thing and bottle it. Because we've seen it over the years, people. And I don't think we will. Because I don't know what will happen with Southampton. I can't call that game. That game for me is a shootout. I really think it's going to be like that, because I still don't think Leeds are playing like Leeds play. And the last 2 home games worry me a little bit, to be honest with you. And I'd even throw Hull in there, because Hull, we weren't good at all as well. And that was at home. But that game could just be a shootout. Hopefully, Southampton are done by that point and they don't have as much motivation as Leeds do. And hopefully that gives us that extra 10%. But right now, right here, right now, I see us going to QPR. Kiss of death, maybe. But I see us beating QPR. I do. I think they are completely done. They're safe. They're happy. I don't think it's going to be as sort of a rowdy atmosphere as it would be if Preston had beaten them the other day, because they'd have had to have still got out of it. QPR are safe. Leeds have to go there with everything on the line that we have, and we have to put that absolute hammer down on Ipswich's mentality and say, do you know what? If you are good enough for the automatic promotions, go and beat Hull and go and beat Coventry, because you're going to have to do so. But they have also got a tough game at the end of the season as well against Huddersfield. That ain't going to be easy with Huddersfield scrapping. Let me get a couple of your comments in as well. We look dogged at times. I agree. Happy with Bamford starting, but Farker won't take him off if he's having a mare of the game. Yeah, Timbo says we look skittish every time they attack through the transition. No confidence in the last 2 games. Playing Southampton last game is starting to feel like the Spurs game last season. Yeah, and cheers MW everybody. I've never had 3,000 people on a live, so it's a big milestone for the channel. So please I really appreciate that. And if you want to stick around, subscribe. We've got a Patreon link in the description below. If you want to join that, I'm going over there next to do additional bits. And we've got One Leeds merch as well, everybody. Link in the description below if you fancy copying yourself some of that sort of stuff. If we can win the next 2, I can see Leicester and Ipswich starting to feel the pressure and drop points. Rajiev's in the building and says, I honestly think the break after the Blackburn game gave us time to recalibrate. Fingers crossed, 2 more visits to the cardiologist. Then, yeah, I agree with what you're saying there, Rajiv. I think that there needed to be home truths from captains in the dressing room, from management, from staff. There needed to be some serious home truths at the end of that game. That was despicable. It was disgraceful. It was not good enough. The Sunderland game was not good enough, but that Blackburn game was nothing short of hideous in terms of what we let slip. And the hardships that we have now is because of that Blackburn game. And you look at what Blackburn have done in the 2 bisecting games. They've conceded 8 goals. And basically been pummeled by a nearly relegated Sheffield Wednesday side at home. Nowhere near good enough. However, what needed to happen after that game was a dressing down. People having conversations, real conversations about this running. Who's up for it? Are you up for it? Why are you not up for it? Why were you poor today? Why were you not good enough today? You don't look like you're giving 100%. Proper and real conversations had to be had after that game. And I hope they were. And after tonight, it looks like they were. The rest will have done them good, but I feel that there will have been conversations in there after that game, after that week, which is ultimately a week when you look back at it now, which would have probably seen Leeds home and hosed. It really would have done when we thought it was going to be the trickiest, almost an easy week. 6 points Leicester, 6 points Ipswich, 6 points Leeds. It's one of those where if we'd have won those two games, it'd have pretty much been done. It really would have been, obviously with tonight's win. But then again, this win tonight might not have been as important if we'd have beaten those two. So yeah, it's all very much here, there, and everywhere when it comes to Leeds United. But let's go into a few more of your comments as well. Keep getting them in. Sujal's in the building. Borough looked on for it, but we sorted it out. Louis feels like the first time this season we've had a ref actually go our way for once was really nice to see. Do you know what though? What I will say, Louis, is the Rutter tackle looked awful. It looked awful. But yes, we can't complain when we've actually got some decisions in this game. And it did feel like he gave us a few decent ones, didn't he? Melee needs to go. I'm seeing in the comment section. Rajiv again says, and to add on to that, Connor, I thought I would never say this, but thanks for the bad referee. Pat P is in the building, said, May Schmodics look like a worldie. Also, Mr. P gave us a super chat after the video the other day. Shout out to you, Mr. P. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Dipal Dilip says he can't hear me. Maybe turn your setup, mate. Appy's in the building and says, love the result. Not sure about the journey. Somerville annoyed me today, not tracking back. Lucky for him, he scored 2 goals. Borough is a big match to me as I grew up in T, so always been big. Appy, I hope you're happy, mate. But listen, that's what I'm talking about when it comes to Crescencio Somerville. Look what he did tonight. 2 goals, a worldie and an assist, and he wasn't that great. This is what we're talking about. This is why he's the best player in the division. We talk about Somerville having crap performances, not good enough performances, but he does it every time. Even when it's in a game when it's an assist, just an assist, and we don't realise it. And we look at it after a game and think, oh, that was a pivotal piece of movement. That little 1-2 that he had with Gray or Gruev was really pivotal in us getting a little bit of space there, a little bit of movement. So yeah, and once again, guys, we're on over 3,000 people. It just shows what a huge club Leeds are, and there's probably a lot of other clubs having a watch of this, but 3,000 people is really heartwarming. So thank you so much. I needed this. I've had a bit of a down couple of days, really, which sounds a bit weird since I've been on holiday, but it's been a bit of a weird time for me. So thank you. Real boost, and really appreciate that as well. It just gives me a bit of an indication that you guys are enjoying these, which is good. So thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. If you'd like the video, that'd be great as well. Cheers, Connor says, Paul, great. A huge win tonight on to Friday. Yeah, 100%, Paul. Let's hope so, buddy. Let's hope this is the start of it. Grant says, we're very lucky. I don't know if we're lucky, mate. I don't know if we're lucky. But we'll have to wait and see. Connor, long-time viewer. The thing that worries me, thanks, Craig, is the age, and that's the ability to handle pressure. We struggled last season under pressure and are struggling again. What I will say, mate, is the beauty of today was that they did handle it. I came into tonight really worried. If I'm really honest with you guys, really honest with you guys, I thought it'd be a draw tonight. I thought it'd be a draw. My old man thought we'd actually lose tonight, which is not like him. And really shows where his mindset has gone with the return from the break. But tonight I was a little bit worried, I have to say. They just love this game. They absolutely love it. We've seen it over the years. They've not got anything to play for, but it doesn't really matter when they're playing Leeds. They're always going to get up for it. And I felt that this Leeds side were just so flat in that last week of football that we had. We didn't score a goal against two, my French, shite football teams. And lost and got a point which wasn't good enough, which just indicated to me that the pressure was too much for them. But tonight, when the pressure was so much tonight, in my opinion, that I would have come on here if we'd have lost the game and said it's done. But now I'm in the mindset that I'm not in the mindset, but I can get closer to the mindset and very close to the understanding that result, it wouldn't secure promotion, but that is such a big result that I can see a way now. I really can see a way where Leeds just, they literally win the last two. When before this, I was like, I don't see them getting to those levels again. I just think they've completely lost it. and that was because of the week previously. But what they've shown tonight is defensive frailties, as we know. They're not as compact as they were. The fullbacks were stretched out, which was a big problem, but they can rectify that. But Farke showed a little bit of difference here. I thought we looked a lot more counter-attacking tonight. We didn't look too bothered about dominating possession, which made us all nervous because it's a little bit of a deviation away from what we used to. I don't like that as much because I don't think you control the narrative as much, but it gave us spaces. And we all said this pre-match, Borough are going to try win the game. So they're going to come on to Leeds, not just going to put 11 men behind the ball. I also think QPR are going to try win the game against us. I do feel like that. So we're then going to have opportunities, spaces, gaps. Southampton are going to try and win the game against us. They're 100%. Southampton going into every game trying to win the game. And what I mean by that is dominating possession, trying to get forward, pick holes in your artillery as well. So that's all good and that works into our favour. But on the pressure aspect, it was all on us tonight. 1-0 down. Leeds are falling apart again. These Borough fans with the 3, 4, 5 teeth in the mouth, the 2 fingers, were loving it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're seeing them on the cameras going absolutely nuts. It was great for them. Party time. Chicken parmos for everyone or whatever it is up there. But listen, we dealt with that. And the players hear that stuff. The players will understand that. Oh my God, the pressure is getting on us now. We're 1-0 down. The crowd's bouncing. There's 25,000 of them going nuts, singing that song. You've got a bunch of young players on there who responded really within 5 minutes with 2 goals, and the other 2 goals were really easily avoidable. And hopefully that is going to be corrected during the week. That's what you're hoping anyway. Sujal again says that was the must-win of all must-win. We had to do it, and at least now we have a chance. I agree. I do think that's it. Phil's in the building. Do Patrick Bamford. Yeah, he's on fire, mate. Says Phil. He's sort of the big one tonight, isn't he? I think he's the big one, Pat Bamford. I think, I think Bamford's the big one. Just seeing you, Ben Bartlett, in there. Seeing Sujal. Thanks for all your lovely comments, everybody. But yeah, he's the big one tonight. He's the big takeaway. Nonso, we all knew. You lot, I know all of you lot who watch and follow this channel. You might be new subscribers, you might be new viewers, but a lot of my original subscribers and viewers are very intelligent people, and they know what Willie Nonso brings. And we all knew on my channel that what Nonso was going to bring is that star-studded quality, and he's the key focus. Me and Oscar have had loads of chats about this, and he's the main man, the real main figurehead here in coming back and galvanising that front line. And I think he did that tonight, defensively, offensively, everywhere. And Pat, if he can just stay at that level, I personally don't think he's good enough. You guys all know that. I'm not deviating away from that. But if he can just keep at that level, involving our little creative geniuses in and around, because I thought they were winning a lot of the second balls off his hold-up play, and he was dragging Leeds up the pitch as well, which I thought was really, really good because he's not been doing that. The ball's been bouncing off him. He's had sloppy touches, awful decisions, but he looked better. He looked back to positive, streaky Pat this time around, and if he can have that streak towards the back end of the season, great news. Matt says, I think we can beat QPR now. More confidence. Yeah, and that's it, Matt. That is it. IPW says, Joseph should have come on, not Perot. Yeah, and do you know what? I'm not going to do, mate. You all know that I'm a massive Joseph fan. Massive Joseph fan. I'm one of the key guys who says he should be starting in front of Bamford. I wanted him to start in front of Bamford tonight. I want him to come on ahead of Perot all the time. I believe if he'd have come on tonight, he'd have done a better job than Perot. I don't really know what Perot on for Bamford when you are trying to hold on to a lead does. I know we were 4-2 up at the time, but holding on to a lead, I don't know what that does, because Perot will give you no hold-up play. He will give you no physicality with the centre-backs. Joseph will give you that. So I did think that was the wrong choice. But Joseph is, for me, I really like him. He just reminds me of just this tenacious young man who cannot wait to get on the football pitch every time, and he's proven it for club and country. So I like him. But Perot, he should definitely be ahead of Perot, in my opinion. But Bamford has given us a performance tonight where I'll step back and say, look, if he performs like that, then Joseph, okay, fine. He sits on the sidelines because that's a good performance. My whole thing with Joseph is, when he did what he did against Chelsea and was unbelievable, why did he then not come on at all against Huddersfield and not even get minutes? And I think that's where it sort of outweighs itself in terms of meritocracy. But I don't want to talk about Joseph too much because it will take away from Pat Bamford tonight, who I thought was good tonight. You've got to give him his flowers. Perot had a beautiful delivery to James, who just held it too long. That is true, Brian. You know, that is true. And that could have been an assist. And yeah, you are right there. Dan James does that a little bit too often, doesn't he? Waits for the foul instead of just going for it himself. You are right there, mate. You are correct. Need Southampton win tomorrow. Is that what you think, Chris? Is that what you think? Although I can't remember if you're an Ipswich fan. I'm not sure. Dan James, okay. He looked in pain. You guys will probably see it a little bit before me if you know what he's been saying afterwards. Nonso is the key guy, as you say. Funny all the shenanigans at the beginning of the season. He may be the one who gets us up. Yeah, I think he's brilliant. I think he's brilliant. Giantist says getting Leeds. Joe Gelhart, lad must be screaming for a chance when Rutter is lumbering round at 65, 70 minutes. I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. I think you bang on there when it comes to just potentially that change, which would give us a few things. What as Joseph to do? Perot offers nothing. Yeah, I think it's similar. It feels like a lot of people are saying the same thing here when it comes to it. When it comes to do that, Craig Allen then says, second point: will Saints rest players against us, keep a fully fit team for the playoffs? And third and final, why has Melee suddenly gone back to EPL form, standing and passing 35-yard points up the pitch? I think, Craig, there's enough of a distance between the last game, which I feel is on the 4th, and the playoffs, which I think are about a week later. Another finals on the 26th of May. I don't know that for any reason. I've not looked at booking tickets or anything like that. But I know the final is the 26th. I think it's about a week after that, isn't it? That the playoffs get into motion, basically. So maybe Southampton will think like that. I think Russell Martin will more be thinking, I need us to get into the swing of things here, and I need us to win this game to almost prove myself. He's got an ego as Mr. Martin, and I think he'll want to almost puff out his chest and say, yeah, I did Leeds twice. Not saying he wouldn't want to win the game anyway, but I think he'd really enjoy putting a beating down on Leeds and being the first team to do a double on us. And that's probably a little bit of pride for Russell Martin, who's had a tricky sort of middle part of the season. Really, they should be definitely in that top 2, shouldn't they? 2 more finals. I agree with you, South Stand Cam. 100%. 2 more finals. I think that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. And guys, that is going to be it from me. It's been an extended one. It has been tonight. I'm going to go off on the Patreon now. Patreon's in the link below. www.patreon.com. One Leeds Fan Channel if you want as well. £4 a month. It goes to the run of the channel. You can become a YouTube member as well. We read all the YouTube members' comments out first, as you'll be able to see by Brian and Tim and Sujal and Co. That's £2 a month. Pressing the join button. You can also get some merch. You fancy some good quality summer Leeds United merch, better quality than that club shop rubbish. And we'll be back tomorrow with the debrief. I want to see all 3,000 of you there. We'll have content throughout the week as well. But guys, yeah, we've got free stuff on the channel all the time. We've got a bit of extra paid stuff as well, which helps to the run of the channel. And I know you guys like bonus content. So we're heading on over there now to do a bit of player ratings. But guys, thank you so much. Before you leave, please slap a like on the video. Leeds United have given themselves a real chance for automatic promotion. March on together. Let's get this done. Come on.